So here we are going to do the textual question answer of the parliamentary system and legislature and executive. Apart from it, we will do some let's explore question answer also from the textbook. So the first textual question is, find out how many representatives from your state are in each house of the parliament. So the number of representatives from each state varies, that is based on its population. So the number of representatives per state differs in both houses and is not same for every state. Okay, so since it depends upon the population, so each and every state has different number of representatives. What makes the Indian Parliament the voice of the people? How does it ensure that different opinions are heard? The Indian Parliament is the voice of the people because it is made up of elected representatives from across the country. It ensures different opinions are heard by having members from different political parties and regions, allowing debates and discussion on laws and policies, providing a platform for question, motions, and committees where diverse views are expressed. This system ensures that the interests of the various groups and communities are represented. Right? Next. Why do you think the Constitution made the executive responsible to the legislature? First of all, democratic accountability. It ensured the executive remain answerable to the elected representatives of the people, prevent abuse of power, legislative oversight check arbitrary actions by the executive, maintain balance of power, distribute power to avoid concentration in one branch, promote transparency. The executive must justify policies and decisions publicly. Ensure policy implementation. Legislators can question delay or failure in executing laws. Now, next question is, why do you think we have chosen the system of bicameral legislature at the union level? So, for the better representation, Lok Sabha represent the population, Rajya Sabha represent the states, ensuring both people and region have a voice. Avoid concentration of power. Power is shared between two houses to prevent dominance by one body. Prevent hasty laws. Second house act as a revising chamber, reducing chances of passing flawed laws, and protect minority interests. Help raise issue of smaller state or less represented groups. Now, next question. Try to track the journey of a recent bill passed by the Parliament. So, a recent example of a bill passed by the Indian Tax Act 2025. So, it was first introduced in the Lok Sabha on 13 Feb 2025, aiming to replace the outdated Income Tax Act of 1961. After being reviewed by a select committee, the bill was withdrawn and reintroduced as the Income Tax Number 2 Bill 2025 with several improvements. It was passed by the Lok Sabha on 11 August and by the Rajya Sabha on 12 August 2025. The bill received the President's assent on 21st August 2025 and will came into effect from 1st April 2026. The new act aims to simplify tax laws, reduce dispute, and modernize the income tax system. The Women Reservation Bill 2023 was passed with wide support. Why might it have taken over 25 years for this bill to pass despite being dispersed so long? So, the Women Reservation Bill took over 25 years to pass due to political disagreement, lack of consensus among the parties, fear of losing existing vote banks, and debate over subquotas for marginalized groups. Despite broad support in principle, actual implementation faced repeated delay due to shifting political priorities and concern over its impact on electoral dynamics, right? So this may be the reason. Sometimes the parliament is disrupted and does not function for the number of days it is supposed to. What impact do you think this has on the quality of laws and the trust people place in their representative? So, poor lawmaking, bills may be passed without proper debate or review, lack of accountability, MPs are seen as not fulfilling their duties, public distrust, citizens lose faith in democratic progress, that is the process, wasted resources, time and money spent on unproductive session, delayed reform, important laws and policies get postponed. Can you create interest group among students and list questions related to any policies that you want to ask your MP or your MLA? How would these questions be different if it is to the MP instead of MLA and vice versa? Question number 9. So these are the various questions. This interest group among the student, youth employment and internship cell, entrepreneurship and startup program, that is the group, vocational training awareness group, and then women in workforce initiative. So here I have taken the policy topic is employment and skill development for youth. Question to MP, what national level initiative is the central government taking to increase job opportunities for educated youth across India? And question asked to your MLA, what is the state government doing to support skill training and job placement for young people in our area? And what is the key difference? The MP focus on central schemes like the Skill India, Pradhan Mantri Kausal Vikas Yojana or National Job Creation Plan, whereas the MLA is responsible for how these programs are implemented locally, like setting up training centers or organizing state-level job fairs. What is the role that the judiciary play in Indian democracy? What could happen if we did not have an independent judiciary? So, guardian of the constitution, it ensures laws and action of the government are constitutional, protector of fundamental rights, safeguard citizen rights from violation, check and balances, keep the executive and legislature in check, dispute resolution, resolve disputes between individual states and government bodies, law interpretation, interpret laws and ensure uniform application, judicial review, reviews laws and executive actions for legality, right? Now here onward we will do some let's explore question answer, and the page number is also given. So draw a small chart to show the process of how RTI became an act. What do you think the process should be if RTE had been tabled in Lok Sabha, that is page number 147. So the process of how RTE became an act, idea or proposal for RTE, drafting of the bill, introduced in Parliament, passed by Lok Sabha, passed by Rajya Sabha, signed by the President, becomes an act, that is RTE Act 2009. If RTE had been tabled in the Lok Sabha, step 1 will be the table in Lok Sabha, step 2 will be debated and passed in Lok Sabha, step 3 sent to Rajya Sabha for approval, step 4 sent to the President for assent, step 5 becomes an act. The basic process remains the same, only the house of introduction, Lok Sabha instead of Rajya Sabha, changes. Now page number 150, there have been one screenshot have been shared. Observe the screenshot above and discuss who is reporting to whom. So here, who is reporting to whom? The Ministry of Ayush is reporting to the standing committee, right? What is the subject that has been reviewed? The subject reviewed is co-location of Ayush facility at primary health center, community health center and district hospital, and particularly the matter of some states, union territory not having a separate department or directorate of Ayush. What is the recommendation? The recommendation is that Ministry of Ayush should encourage the state and union territory which do not have a separate department or director of Ayush to create one. This is aimed at better coordination of Ayush healthcare and for speedier development and implementation of Ayush scheme. Government reply. Since public health is a state subject, formation of separate Ayush department, director in state, union territory is the prerogative of those state and union territories government. But the Ministry of Ayush has in meeting requested the state and union territories to create separate director and deploy manpower at the state and district level via SPMU and DPMU to implement scheme more efficiently. As the date of report, 24 states, union territory have already set up separate Ayush directorate. Okay. Page number 151. Why do you think that Parliament keeps an eye on government expenditure? Government spend public money, the money collected from people through taxes and other sources. Parliament represents the people, so it has a duty to ensure money is spent properly, to prevent misuse or wastage of public fund, to ensure transparency and accountability in how the government functions, to check corruption and hold the government responsible for its action. If the executive is a part of legislature, how do we say that there is separation of power? Page number 152. So there is no complete separation, but there is a division of power. The executive are part of the legislature. However, Parliament can question, examine and control the action of the executive. Different roles and responsibilities are assigned to each organ. Legislature make laws, executive implement them. What might happen if one of the organ, legislature, executive or judiciary had all the power? How could it affect the rights of people? Page number 154 and 155. So if the concentration of power in one organ can lead to dictatorship or misuse of power, no checks and balance means the organ can act unfairly or unjustly. It could make laws, implement them, and judge violation without accountability. People's right and freedom could be ignored or violated. Democracy requires separation of power to protect the rights of all citizens. The legislature questioned the executive by asking questions in parliament, holding debates and using tools like the no confidence motion and parliamentary committee. The judiciary ensured that laws and government action follows the constitution through a process called judicial review. It can strike down any law or action that violate constitutional principles. Although the judiciary is independent, its action can be reviewed through the appeal in High Court and judges must follow the constitution, making them accountable to the law and public trust. What type of legislature does your state have? Page number 157. So most Indian states have a unicameral legislature, legislative assembly or Vidhan Sabha. Only a few states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana have a bicameral legislature, that is two houses. Legislative Assembly Vidhan Sabha and Legislative Council Vidhan Parishad. Question number 17, that is a statement of former chairman of the Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu given in 2021. The productivity of Rajya Sabha during 2004 to 14 has been about 78% and is declined to about 65% since then. Of the 11 sessions that he presided over, 4 of them clocked low productivity of 6.80%, 27.30%, 28.90% and 29.55% during the year 2018. The Rajya Sabha recorded the lowest ever productivity of 35.75% under the impact of disruption. What conclusion can you draw from this statement? What implication does this have for the role that the Rajya Sabha is expected to play? This is the last question. So conclusion is the statement by M. Venkaiah Naidu highlights a decline in the productivity of the Rajya Sabha, especially after 2014, with some sessions witnessing extremely low productivity due to frequent disruption. Implication: this decline undermines the Rajya Sabha key role as a deliberative and revising chamber in India's parliamentary system. Reduced productivity means fewer debate, poor scrutiny of legislation and weakened accountability, which can hamper effective governance and democratic functioning. So, these are the textual question answer from the topic, the chapter, that is the parliamentary system and legislature executive. So, this much for this video. If you are watching until the end, then thank you so much for watching, and this much.